Hello, good evening. This is your STV News at 6, live from Edinburgh. The Hearts owner, Vladimir Romanov, could lend the club the money it needs to pay its £500,000 tax bill. The admission came from his right-hand man today, despite Lithuanian businessmen previously cutting off financial support. Meanwhile, efforts are continuing to raise funds from supporters. Gordon Cree reports.
With just 5 days until Hearts have to respond to Revenue and Customs over the outstanding taxes, it now looks like a loan may be arranged from a familiar source.
We've been speaking to Mr. Romanov's companies, and we got a good response. They will be looking at ways to help us. They know the situation and understand the situation, and they promise to help us out. But we need to understand that if the funding will be made available, then again it is something that the club will need to repay.
And an admission Hearts had decided not to pay on time.
If you say that the club is a business, I understand. Your Scottish mentality may point you towards that, but my mentality says that the club is much more than the business. It's a huge institution within the community that is creating jobs, that are helping children, that is serving as an example to many, many people who trying to lead the ways in a more positive way. And I think you cannot just measure it by pounds and sterling.
But it's okay if you're doing all that not to pay your taxes.
We're paying taxes, and we pay.
But you haven't done on this occasion.
And on occasions previously, there were occasions that we haven't done that, but we will do it.
Since the appeal for supporters to dig deep was launched earlier this week, around £100,000 has been pledged. A fundraising rally will be held at the stadium a week on Sunday. We had a great day not so long ago in May at Hampden that Edinburgh was swamped on the Sunday with 100,000 Hearts fans. We'd like to think that we're only playing a small part in that, but hopefully if the club can utilise as many of these supporters as possible, then the club will survive. There remains a real possibility that almost 140 years of football for this club could be coming to an end. But as far as the fans are concerned, at least, it won't be without a fight. Gordon Cree, STV News, Tynecastle.
Hello again. Lee Wallace is urging his former Hearts teammates to focus on the football and forget the club's money troubles. The Rangers defender went through the collapse and resurrection of his current team last season and says the players just need to hope for the best. Well, let's cross live now to Gordon Cree, who's at Tynecastle with the latest for us. Gordon.
Well, the Hearts players are travelling to Inverness this evening ahead of their game there tomorrow, and it's clearly important for them to put the events of the past few days behind them, concentrate on matters on the pitch. But events here really are the talk of the training grounds across Scotland, none more so than at Ibrox, where they know very well about financial problems.
I think Hearts can certainly look at us as an example. We're still playing football, as you say, and we're on our road to recovery, and we'll certainly do our best to get back to where we belong.
I want them to survive. I'm not sitting here in any way, shape or form looking, well, we need to make sure the exact same happens to Hearts. I've got no interest in that at all. All I want is for Hearts to survive and people to keep their jobs, and the Hearts supporters have a team to go and watch.
Well, we've also been getting the thoughts of one SPL manager who spent several seasons here at Tynecastle. Here's his assessment of the situation.
Well, I feel very sorry for them. They've got themselves into that, and that's something that we have to look at as football clubs. Every club has to be prudent, and every club has to manage their club properly. A manager gets frustrated when you have to sell your best players, but that manager has to remember that the club has to survive.
Well, the Hearts hierarchy are having a meeting with their Highland Supporters Club up in Inverness tonight, and they will be hoping that after their game at 12 noon tomorrow, there will be some positive headlines for a few hours at least. And don't forget, the full interview with Sergis Feritovas is on our website.
Gordon Cree, live from Tynecastle, thank you very much. Now for a look ahead to the rest of the weekend's SPL action, and as you heard there, Hearts make the trip to Inverness for the early kick-off, with Ryan Stevenson set to return to the fold.
In the past 48 hours, Hearts have raised more than £100,000 through selling shares and tickets to matches in their bid to avoid being liquidated next week. However, one club director has told BBC Scotland that Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, who've issued a winding-up notice, are not willing to reach a compromise deal. Brian McLaughlin has more.
The Hearts director asking fans to dig deep. However, HMRC are saying there's no deal on the table over the £450,000 that must be paid next week.
That's what they said, you know, and I think they're treating this situation really wrong. It's really wrong to treat like that, because, you know, this is not just the usual business. It's a club, it's an institution. That means a lot of to the people here in Edinburgh and in the country.
The winding up order issued to Hearts on Wednesday is not the only problem the club have. They're already in debt to the tune of almost £23 million, the majority of that to the club's owner, Vladimir Romanov. They also have another outstanding tax liability of £1.75 million. The club say, though, they're contesting this, and next Friday they're due to pay the players' salaries, but for the last 2 months some of those have been late.
6 months ago, Hearts fans were rejoicing after a famous cup victory against their city rivals. Now they're being asked to empty their pockets, otherwise they can forget reaching Hampden ever again.
The club's in a serious situation. The fans really need to come rally the call here, answer the call that the club's making, and buy the shares and buy seats for the matches coming up.
This afternoon, Fedetovis held a meeting with the players, and he says everyone at the club are fully supportive in their quest to stay alive.
We had a good meeting. I understand, you know, that we have understanding, and there is understanding with all the stuff in the club. Everyone's working hard, and you know, seeing this commitment from people gives a good feeling, and I'm really confident that we'll get through that.
The Hearts players are now off to Inverness for tomorrow's lunchtime fixture. In 7 days' time, Hearts must pay £450,000. Otherwise, the club faces oblivion. Ryan McLaughlin reporting Scotland, Edinburgh.
Night to be remembered for many years to come. Just moving on to talk about Hearts. Big financial problems there. I know finance is a big area of your expertise. What do you make of what's going on up there?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. This is a club that's sort of bumped along the bottom financially for a while. It's had difficulties with HMRC, the tax man, in the past. They claim that they have this time managed to keep up with their tax payments generally, and this is only 1 or 2 months of arrears. It's difficult, it's impossible, in fact, to verify that claim with HMRC. But they've desperately thrown the begging bowl out to the fans. They've requested that the fans put money forward to contribute, and in return for shares for the football club. But, you know, that would be a big investment risk for any ordinary football fan to be putting his money just to support Romanov's ownership of their football club. They will have to decide, has he been a good steward of that club? Because they're being asked to put their hard-earned cash into this. And Hearts, if he's right and the liabilities are not enormous, Hearts will not be pulled down and destroyed by this, as Rangers were. The Rangers have had to build from the bottom. That was many tens of millions of pounds of losses. But Hearts, hopefully their situation is right.